A pleasant good evening from the News Center here at Freedom Communications Incorporated in Morovia. A warm welcome to this Monday, September 2021 presentation of Freedom News. Basket 45 minutes of the latest happenings making news in Liberia, and is where I'm your presenter, Jeff Jefferson. These are top developments are following tonight. Bomi County former Senator Sandro Johnson Riggs being arrested in connection with his divorce case at the civil law court at the Temple of Justice. The political leader of the opposition Alternative National Congress at the Zana Comment maintains that his decision to walk out of the meeting of political leaders of the CPP was a result of violation of the collaborations framework document. Residents of Tokpatown, VP Road, Monday expressed a concern over the alleged refusal of the administration of the Sotomayor Christian School operating in the area to allow AAC employees to plant a transformer in the vicinity to provide electricity that's calls on the administration of the Sotomayor School to desist from obstructing development in the area. Away from home now, a Rwandan opposition leader has gone on hunger strike after being arrested by police. His lawyer says that's according to the BBC. The details of these developments, the voices of the newsmakers, the news bulletins posted for developments are packaged in this edition of Freedom News Basket. You can follow us live on Freedom Radio Liberia and online at www.freedomradioliberia.com. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll bring you the bulletin. Thanks for rejoining us at this juncture. We will join Lawrence. That's Lawrence Kwawa to set the pace with the bulletin. Good evening, Lawrence.
Good evening, Jeff. Good evening to our listeners and viewers. Bomi County former Senator Samuel Johnson risks being arrested in connection with his divorce case at the civil law court at the Temple of Justice. In March of this year, the court instructed the former senator of Bomi County to pay a monthly support of $396 to his wife, Antoinette Johnson, far below her $1,596 demand for alimony. The court Monday confirmed that former Senator Johnson is not living up to the monthly payment of the amount in question as support to his wife, Antoinette Johnson. Our judicial correspondent further revealed that as a result of former Senator Johnson's action, Judge Sheplo Domba is considering a civil attempt or contempt against him through an arrest order to compel his appearance in order to pay the amount to his wife. The former Senator of Bomi County wife, Antoinette Johnson, has since filed an action of divorce against her husband to end her legal contract with him due to incompatibility of temper. The political leader of the opposition Alternative National Congress, Alexander Cummins, has maintained that his decision to walk out of a meeting of political leaders of the CPP was a result of violation of the framework document of the collaboration. Cummins, speaking during a press conference Monday, also justified reasons why he did not attend the endorsement program of former Vice President Joseph Boakai as an aspirant on the ticket of the United Party to contest the CPP standard bearer position. According to him, the United Party did not follow the due process as per the framework document of the collaboration. He stressed that if the CPP will succeed President George Weah in the upcoming presidential election, the collaborating political parties must adhere to the framework document. In another development, the ANC political leader has frowned on the decision of block voting with the CPP, adding that such is irrational and unconstitutional. In another development, Alexander Cummins has rallied Liberians to ensure that the CDC-led government is a one-term government. According to him, since the election of President George Weah, the country has descended into a free fall due to the inability of the government to manage the economy of the country. Addressing a press conference in Monday in Monrovia, the ANC political leader called on Liberians and supporters of the collaborating political parties to join effort in making President Weah a one-term leader. He at the same time called on members of the CPP not to only criticize the CDC-led government, but they should start to do the right things for the Liberian people. He said the CPP will be the alternative for the Liberian people in 2023. They should start to demonstrate action that shows that they are the rightful alternative. Residents of Toba Town on the VP Road Monday expressed concern over the alleged refusal of the administration of the SEPT Christian School operating in the area to allow LEC employees plant a transformer in the vicinity. The community through their chairman, Masa Giagon, speaking to Freedom News Monday, accused the SEPT administration of obstructing development in the community. According to her, lack of electricity in the community is a serious challenge. As such, she urged the school administration to cooperate with the LEC staff to plant the transformer. For his part, another resident of the community, Jerry Wallace, providing the overview of the situation, said the spot identified by the LEC workers to plant the transformer is safe and poses no threat to students of the SEPT school. He described the action of the SEPT administration as undermining the development agenda of the WIA's government. Meanwhile, when contacted, one of the heads of the SEPT Christian School, identified as Madam Montgomery, said the school is not against the planting of the transformer in the area, but such should be done considering the safety of students. The political leader of the People's Liberation Party, Dr. Daniel Cassell, has disclosed that the party is making significant progress. Speaking on State Radio Monday, he said there is no conflict within the party since the removal of women pay and several others has been reported in the public. Dr. Cassell reiterated that the removal of women pay and others was the decision of the general public or the General Policy Committee over constitutional violation of the party's policies. He added that the National Elections Commission has endorsed the party's decision. As such, the expelled officials of the PLP are no longer legitimate members of the party. At the same time, Dr. Cassell has maintained that the People's Liberation Party has brought a difference in the political atmosphere in Liberia. He maintained that the party is concerned about buttressing government's effort in several areas and getting involved in unnecessary criticism. The government and people of the Republic of Niger, through the Niger National Assembly, has reaffirmed cooperation and integration with Liberia. The Deputy Speaker of the West African National Assembly, Honorable Umaru Yahaya, in a two-day official visit to Liberia, to the Honorable House of Representatives, that Niger seeks bilateral cooperation and integration between the two countries and parliamentary bodies to extend particularly to all social, economic, and political spheres. Speaking in fluent French, Honorable Yahaya indicated that the relationships between Liberia and Niger are not only secular, but they also cover several aspects. He stressed on cooperations of the two parliamentary bodies, adding that the two chambers belong to several inter-parliamentary organizations, including the ECOWAS Parliament, the Pan-African Parliament, the African Parliamentary Union, among others. On the issues of governance, Honorable Yahaya stated that a considerable progress has been made amid challenges, pointing out that the two countries' former presidents respectively won the Mo Ibrahim Prize in presence of Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and Mr. Isufu Muhammadu. On behalf of the Niger National Assembly, the Deputy Speaker formally invited Speaker Bokar Chambers and members of the House of Representatives to participate in the formal opening ceremony of the 2021 budget session of Niger. Meanwhile, the office in charge of the House of Representatives, Councillor Kani Wessel, who is the chairman of the House's Committee on Judiciary, thanked the Niger National Assembly Deputy Speaker for the visit and said the bilateral notes will be conveyed to Speaker Bokar Chambers, who have traveled to Rwanda for an official visit. Also speaking during the engagement, one of Liberia's representatives to the ECOWAS Parliament, Honorable Clarence Massaquoi, also hailed Deputy Speaker Yahaya for the visit. The former administrator of the Redemption Hospital, Tobias Bowen, is requesting Criminal Code E to relocate his sexual offense case to the Long Judicial Circuit Court of Bombay County. Suspect Bowen's request for another jurisdiction was contained in a motion filed by his lawyer, Councillor August Fayad, a change of venue consistent with Chapter 5, Section 5.7 of the Criminal Procedure Law of Liberia. The law states a motion of the prosecuting attorney or the defendant, the court may order the proceedings in a criminal prosecution transfer to a competent court in another county if there is reason to believe that an impartial trial cannot be held in the county in which it is pending. Our judicial correspondent further revealed that suspect Tobias Bowen's legal team request for relocation comes when criminal court e-resident George Serena Galawu recused herself from Suspect Bowen's rape case due to her relationship with him. The former administrator of the Redemption Hospital was indicted by government of Liberia 2020 for allegedly raping a 14-year-old girl at his Bernard's Farm community in 2019. The Progressive Youth for Sustainable Development in Liberia over the weekend embarked on the distribution of hand-washing buckets to over 300 residents within the Bongmai Bridge community. The distribution of the hand-washing buckets is the second phase of the organization community awareness program on hygiene and sanitation for COVID-19 within the Bongmai Bridge community. Speaking with Freedom News over the weekend, the executive director of the organization, Calvin Jara, said the awareness program within Bongmai Bridge community started with the collection of plastic waste and also the awareness of COVID-19 prevention within the community. According to Jara, the organization awareness program and the distribution of hand-washing buckets is the organizational way of creating awareness on COVID-19. Also speaking during the distribution process, both the project manager and program officer of the organization called international partners and government to support the organization with materials that will enable them to extend initiative to other communities. For their part, beneficiaries of the distribution process lauded the organization for the awareness and distribution of hand-washing buckets, adding that it will help them to remain safe in the community. And for Freedom FM News Bulletin, a 3-day cooperative workshop has ended in Conetown Todi District, rural Montserrat County, with road and bridges remaining a major challenge to the transport of products of local farmers in the area. The workshop brought together over 50 farmers from various towns and villages within Todi District to build up their capacity on cocoa and vegetables farming in the district and its surrounding in Liberia at large. Speaking to our Todi District correspondent over the weekend, two of facilitators disclosed that the workshop is intended to train members of the cooperative called Dikagal in cocoa and a vegetable planning in rural Montserrat County to help enhance rural dwellers to be self-sufficient in food production. Also speaking, Montserrat County Development Superintendent David Johnson and his co-workers described the workshop as a milestone for farmers who have taken the initiative to buttress government efforts in the country. Johnson and the Township Commissioner Nathaniel Saki, along with the chairman, who is the clan chief of Mare Clan, Johnson Safi, added that within 2 years' time, Todi District will be able to supply Montserrat County with cocoa and vegetables on the market. But this cannot be done with farmers across the country and not empowered financially. That ends the news bulletin. And back to Jefferson.
Many thanks to Lawrence Kwawa for reading us the news bulletin. Lawrence will return later with the foreign development. These are top stories we're following this evening. Bomi County former Senator Sandra Johnson risks being arrested in connection with his divorce case at the Civil Law Court at the Temple of Justice. The political leader of the opposition Alternative National Congress, Alexander Cummings, has maintained that his decision to walk out of a meeting of political leaders of the CPP was as a result of violation of the collaborations framework document. News just coming in says police spokesman Moses Carter has been dragged to court by his wife for persistent non-support, but the Liberia National Police spokesperson has reacted to the news linking him to the case, says he preferred to handle the situation out of the media and away from home. A Rwandan opposition leader has gone on hunger strike after being arrested by police, his lawyer says. Let's now bring you the voices of those behind the news. The political leader of the opposition Alternative National Congress, Alexander Cummings, has maintained that his decision to walk out of the meeting of political leaders of the CPP was as a result of violation of the framework document of the collaboration. Cummings, speaking during the press conference Monday, also justified reasons why he did not attend the endorsement program of former Vice President Joseph Walker as an aspirant of the ticket of the Unity Party to contest the CPP's tenor bearer position.
Many of you have heard that I walked out of the meeting with my colleagues at Bella Casa Hotel and of my refusal to attend program to endorse Ambassador Boycott as standard bearer of the Unity Party. While many have commended my stance on upholding the rules as well as the commitments to democratic tenure we share in the CPP, some have described it as fueling an internal crisis. I can only hope that this internal crisis, if it is one, will provide the CPP much needed space for reflection on how we better position ourselves to respond to the needs of our people for real change. It is not enough that we criticize the government, as we rightly should, but also that we continue to demonstrate that the CPP is a better alternative by holding ourselves to a higher standard of democratic leadership and accountability. The membership of the Alternative National Congress, the ANC, and my own participation in the CPP impose an obligation to help keep the CPP's action within the framework of its agreements. Of course, at present, my preference is not to commit a wrong, but where it is brought to my attention the supporting evidence that I have participated in the commission of violations to the framework agreement, our decision to extend the tenure of the chair and constitute an investigative committee, it becomes my duty as a democratic leader to ensure the wrong is corrected. Legal action. A wrong is a wrong, regardless of who commits it, including myself. A wrong is a wrong, no matter who commits it, including myself. Recognizing and correcting a wrong is not a sign, it is an attribute of good leadership, and it is honorable. Doubling down on wrongs is dishonorable and a product of undemocratic leadership. Where there is insistence on not correcting our collective mistakes to continue to proceed wrongly in spite of clear violations of our laws, I will not be owe the Liberian people an obligation to do things different, to be better than this government. If not, how are we the alternative? On the issue of the Unity Party, insofar as it risks undermining what we've agreed to collectively, actions of a constituent member party cannot be said to be internal. When we agree to act as one in the CPP, we also agree to be publicly judged. The undemocratic action of one member party in violation of the core value guiding principles of the CPP, its own constitution and NEC guidelines, casts a broader expression on the CPP and reflects wholly.
At the same time, the ANC political leader has frowned on the decision of bloc voting within the CPP, adding that such is irrational and unconstitutional.
Black voting it doesn't make sense. It's unconstitutional. Some of you are too young to remember, a young man then too, but I was old enough to remember to understand the old True Party, where it was the all Soci one, Soci all. I don't know if you remember that saying, right? Soci one, Soci all. We're not going back to that. We're not going back to the future. I'm sorry. The CPP framework agreement, there was a reason why we said we were going to have 310 delegates each that will go to a convention. We didn't say we'll get 310 delegates and then only one person will go on behalf of all 310. We didn't say we're going to do voter perception survey, something the ANC put VPF to just influence 4 people. It was to provide some information to the delegates so they could make the individual decisions on who they feel should lead the seat. The question is this a sign of weakness? Is this a sign of vulnerability? Is this a sign that those who are advocating this don't trust that the delegates will support and vote for them? This is what I think you reporters should be asking. Why is this being advocated now? Why wasn't it advocated when working on the framework agreement? Why do we go through all the process of agreeing to number of delegates, agreeing to go to a convention, agreeing to do VPS, if we're only going to give it to one person? The social one, social all concept.
In another development, Alexander Cummings has rallied Liberians to ensure that the CDC-led government is a one-term government. According to him, since the election of President George Weah, the country has descended into free fall due to the inability of the government to manage the economy of the country.
My fellow Liberian, in 2019, a CPP, which the ANC remained integral part of, was officially formed to be a viable alternative to the CDC-led government. This is because since the election of the CDC-led government, our country has descended into freefall. Many of you do not need me to tell you that Liberia is in a really bad. You are feeling it every day and everywhere in our country. The president does not know what most of the people he employed, like him, do also not know what they're doing. They are managing the economy very poorly. Every day is a new corruption scandal of government officials stealing while people cannot find jobs. The harmonized pay of civil servants cannot even pay the cost of their transportation to work, or pay their children's school fees, or put food on their tables for a month because food prices are so high. People are suffering. We need to create jobs. We need to grow the economy. We need to fix the schools and improve the hospital. We need to stop the stealing, obey the law, and hold each other accountable.
Is the political leader of the Alternative National Congress, Alexander Cummings. Residents of Tukpa Town on the VP Road Monday expressed concern about the alleged refusal of the administration of the Sotelman Christian School operating in the area to allow LEC employees plant a transformer in the vicinity. The community through their cheerleader, Masa Gayagon, speaking to Freedom News Monday, accused the Sotelman administration of obstructing development in the community. According to her, the lack of electricity in the community is a serious challenge, and so she urged the school administration to cooperate with the LEC staff to plant the transformer.
The first guy where they planted the pole, there was a problem. They are saying that they're looking at the safety of our children. Government already finished setting a map for the EU project. They passed through public works. So why are they stopping the project from going on? You're talking about the safety of Sotiama school children. The pole is not in the yard, it's outside the yard. The children not living here to say, oh, they will be coming outside to be playing with the pole. No, this is why you put fees. So why would you want to stop the president project for a whole community? You're just a single person doing a business. You're running a school, so if no current, there will be no school because the whole community is surviving on a particular current. So if you say the community should not have current, then yourself, your school will not be right there. From tomorrow, if they still insist that the post should be relocated there, then they will not have school in the community. That's the message that we're sending.
For his part, another resident of the community, Jerry Wallace, providing the overview of the situation, said the spot identified by LEC workers to plant the pole is safe and pose no threat to students of the Sotelman school. He described the action of the Sotelman administration as undermining the development agenda of the U.S. government.
We have been behind this project for a while now. We want the LEC, the EU people came, the guy who run the project for area in Monserrato even came, saw the whole project site, but then we found means to say I'm going to re-erect the stuff. The supervisor came and saw the site, and he chose this place because the place is all in terms of fence. It's not in the fence. It's outside. This is the government street. They chose that they place the rightful place. People have been kind of dug the hole. The first they came to dig a hole, they come talking from the fence, and they stop us. So we said, no, they can't stop us. They can't stop this project because you got current. They're going to be on the current for how many months? We're not in terms of fence. We're in the street. So we said, no, when I said that, our post be planted. If our posts are not planted about to have school with me, Sintemo school to relocate. Public works should come immediately to avoid confusion in the community. They should come and show the be here. Yeah. If they don't do so, public will be the problem here. Yeah. So we've seen that there's the president project so concerned. If Sintemo is trying to disrupt the president project, definitely they don't have problem with us in the community. Yeah. So this is an EU project that has been governed by the government. Because before the people come on the field of work, they got a mapping of this whole area. All right. Everywhere they go to work, they got their own mapping from public works. Yeah. So everywhere you see the plenty poles, they got alley running. They came here and the supervisors chose this place. The white guy in the Gaki, he chose this place. There's a street. We called the public works and we expect people will be coming in. The leadership for the school year called all. They said they want to have a meeting with the committee chairman leadership. We went in there with them, but when they said, okay, we're coming, we want to have our in-house meeting again. We came out, waited, and they called the guy who's supervising the work, and they called the guy to a meeting, and they had a meeting with the guy. The guy said, look, I'm doing my work. So we went back to them after an hour. They also went back to them. The chairman and the leadership went and somebody else said wanted to talk to us. To have a meeting with us. So why is it? They don't want to get ready to talk to us. The way they got in that car, they left. Yeah, and they got covering at school as you speak.
When was it?
Just today. Just now as we speak. Just today I will speak. Just about 10 15 minutes ago, they just left. So they got people in the fence. They lock the gate and they're in there. They got people They got people in the fence.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, when contacted, one of the heads of the Sotermon Christian School, only identified as Madam Montgomery, said the school is not against planting the transformer in the area, but says such should be done considering the safety of students.
So Tiamon is a part of this community. If the community has electricity problem, it is our problem. We cannot continue burning gas every other time, and we know that it is very costly. To show that we want to resolve this thing, we ourselves, we are doing our own underground work, calling team from elsewhere. EPA people, they are also on their way to come and do assessment. What are the number of feet transformer calls for? What it meet that standard? And we will let the pole to be planted. But the people are just angry. We are inside here finding solution. We are calling our LEC. We are writing letters to get it resolved.
She's Madam Montgomery of the Sotermon Christian School responding to claims from concerned residents of the Tukba town and the VP role in Morovia, calling on the school to stop obstructing development in the community. The political leader of the People's Liberation Party, Dr. Daniel Cassell, has disclosed that the party is making significant progress. Speaking on state radio Monday, he said there is no conflict within the party since the removal of William Pay and several others has been reported in the public. Dr. Cassell reiterated that the removal of William Pay and the others was a decision of the General Policy Committee over constitutional violation of the party's policies.
The institution is growing. The message is resonating with the public, and it's no longer an infight. There was never an infight that has been made public. You are pretty much aware of it. Well, based on constitutional violation of others who were in positions in the counties, they were single-handedly removed without a vetting and approval of the GPC. That's a violation of the constitutional rights of those individuals. And when that becomes a pattern, then something has to be done with it, about it, rather. And so it was based on those and several other reasons that Mr. Pay, that individual is no longer with us. If he thinks so, why don't he come to his office to work? The NEC has made a decision, and the GPC has made a decision. That's the highest body. So if he is going to challenge that should give you an insight into his psyche, how he thinks and how he behaves, thinking that he has this ultimate power or entitlement. No one has that over the GPC. GPC has rule, and that's the end of the General Policy Commission protest. No, that's not considered crisis. In any political body, people will always think that's the best way to voice out their opinion or their grievances or disagreement, protest. So that's strange to the body of politics.
At the same time, Dr. Cassia has maintained that the People's Liberation Party has brought a difference in the political atmosphere in Liberia. He maintained that the party is concerned about buttressing government's effort in several areas than getting involved in unnecessary criticism.
The perception have been drawn based on the old order of politicians, their way of doing things. You have to have been to politics and causing uprising, doing protests, making condescending statements against the regime so that you get in power and then you do the same thing that you've been criticizing. Dr. Kissaw, under his leadership of the PLP, has brought a paradigm shift to the body of politics. I've been buttressing the government's efforts in terms of solving problems from road development, a scholarship scheme in Grand Kidman County, in Magibi County, and it is extending to other places. I have the highest scholarship program in the country of any politician. It's over 500 students. So the payment of water and sewer workers in Grand Kidman, when they had shut down the water, and that was the only source of water, people were turning to well water, which are contaminated in Grand Kidman. I made the intervention over there, the transportation, liberation transportation, that is now the cheapest, has been buttressing government's effort. Government has one of the highest fees for transportation, and because of the protests of their own workers, as a result of that, government has brought their fees down to match ours. That's a clear indication that I'm here to buttress government's effort to solve problems. I've been blessed by God, and
He's the political leader of the People's Liberation Party, Dr. Daniel Cassell, speaking Monday on State Radio. At this juncture, we've a couple of minutes past to have our mark in the news. Let's cross over to our sports desk, where Thomas Kujurolak is seated to bring us to passion. Good evening, Thomas.
Good evening, Jeff. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Passionate Life. The Confederation of African Football, CAF, has cancelled the planned facility reinspection visit to Liberia ahead of next month FIFA World Cup qualifier against Kivra Aslan. The decision to cancel the inspection is as a result of a request made by the Liberia Football Association following the Ministry of Youth and Sports September 11, 2021 communication to the LFA that the fee is not in a better condition to host international games next month. Similar thing in which particularly was the subject of rejections during CAF previous inspection visit. As such, the ministry then informed the Liberia Football Association to pass across a message to CAF that the inspection team should not come to Liberia at about this time. A communication from the LFA reads, in an effort to avoid further sanction, we have just been informed by the Ministry of Youth and Sports that our playing page won't be ready for international game next month. As such, we are requesting you, CAF, to please cancel the upcoming inspection until we can get back to you. The CAF inspecting team was scheduled to arrive in Liberia on Monday for a 2-day visit to re-inspect the country premier facility, the SKD Sports Complex, between September 12 to 13, before departing for another country ahead of the March Day 3 actions of the Qatar 2022 World Cup qualifier. A new inspection day will be announced after CAF get another communication from the Liberia Football Association in order to carry on the inspection. Meanwhile, in the communication sent to CAF, the Liberia Football Association has asked the continent football governing body to consider Liberia use Ghana as a home venue for the Qatar 2022 World Cup qualifier game with Cape Verde Aslan, until which time the SKD Sports Page can be ready to host the remaining 2 games at home in the World Cup qualifier for the national team. Liberia is due to play against the Super Eagles of Nigeria and Central African Republic in Monrovia. The LFA is said to be in serious discussion with the Ghanaian Football Association for Lone Star to play a home game with Cape Verde Aslan on October 5 in Accra. The Liberia Football Association's champions LPRC Oilers took a big step in reaching the second qualifying round of the 2021-2022 Total Inches CAF Champions League, following a huge 3-0 win over Togolese Asco Di Camara at the empty-seated Anthony Tottenham Sports Stadium on Sunday, September 12. A first-half goal from Terry Sakor and a goal each from Ivan Boto and Jim Richardson in the second half secured all the 3 goals and a win for the All Boys in Monrovia. LPRC Oilers is expected to be in Togo this Sunday for the second leg clash. Meanwhile, Liberia representative in the Total Inching CAF Confederation Cup Monrovia Clubberries are left with an uphill task in the return leg of the first preliminary round following a 3-0 defeat in Malé to Malian side Bengal FC. Malian club Bengal FC scored 3 goals, which were all unanswered by the Liberian team. Away from home, South Africa has expressed interest in hosting the FIFA Club World Cup this December after Japan took a step back due to COVID-19. Making the disclosures Monday to journalists, the South African Football Association president Danny Jolin said he will meet with FIFA Secretary General Fatih Sumurud in Lagos, Nigeria this week to get more details on what kind of bid South Africa must be sent to host the FIFA Club World Cup. This year, Club World Cup will feature Champions League winner Chelsea and the continent other champions, and former Chelsea, Newcastle United, and Western United. Chicago Demaba has retired at age 36. The former Senegal national who won the Europa League with Chelsea in 2013 and twice won the Turkish title with SC Beşiktaş in 2016-2017 and then Istanbul Beşiktaş in 2019-2020, announced his retirement on September 13, 2021. He was with our club after walking out of Swedish side Ligue 1 in August. What a wonderful journey it has been. By posting on Twitter, football has given me so many beautiful emotions. About first moved to England in January 2011 with Western United from Hoffenheim, having scored 40 goals in 103 appearances for the German club. He scored 7 goals in 13 appearances for Hamburg before moving to Newcastle 6 months later. The former Newcastle man netted 29 times in 57 games, joining Chelsea in January 2013, where he started just 23 times of his 51 games with the Blues, scoring 14 goals as he found himself as third choice behind former Cameroonian international Samuel Eto'o and former Spanish forward Fernando Torres. And the UEFA Champions League is expected to resume. The UEFA Champions League 2021-2022 league is expected to kick off tomorrow across Europe. FC Bayern Munich will be away to Spanish side FC Barcelona. Well, Jeff, that's the shape of the sports. It's back to you for the continuation of the news.
Many thanks to Thomas Kajorola for reading us the passion. It is a regular feature on Freedom News Basket. Let's continue with more developments on this presentation of the news program. The government and people of the Republic of Niger through the Niger National Assembly has reaffirmed the cooperation and integration with Liberia. The Deputy Speaker of the Niger National Assembly, Honorable Umaru Yahaya, in a two-day official visit to Liberia, told the Honorable House of Representatives that Niger seeks bilateral cooperation and integration between the two countries. One of Liberia's representatives to ECOWAS Parliament, Honorable Clarence Massaquoi, speaking during a meeting with Yahaya, hailed him for the visit, while the officer in charge of the House of Representatives, Councillor Connie Wessel, thanked the Niger National Assembly and said, adding that the bilateral notes will be conveyed to Speaker Buffer Chambers.
We want to take this time to say that we are happy to have you in Liberia, and this is on behalf of the Speaker of the Liberian Parliament, Honorable Dr. Buffer Chambers, who you have come to visit to deliver a message on behalf of the people of Niger. We are very sorry that the Honorable Speaker is on official visit to Rwanda. It's currently in Kigali, but on his behalf, my colleague, Honorable Wessel, and I, we are here to say how, as Liberians, as West Africans, in the spirit of regional integration, we are happy to have you visit with us. We are sorry that the House is on recess. We want to say how pleased we are. I know, like I said, there is a protocol at which time you will deliver a message from the people of Niger, particularly the National Assembly, to the people of Liberia through the National Legislature, especially the office of the Honorable Speaker. But we talk.
He's Lofa County representative and member of Parliament, member of Liberia's representation to the ECOWAS Parliament, Honorable Clarence Massaquoi, speaking during a meeting with the Deputy Speaker of the Niger National Assembly, Umaru Yahaya. Still have the news is the foreign development, but this will set the pace. The Progressive Youth for Sustainable Development in Liberia over the weekend embarked on the distribution of hand-washing buckets to over 300 residents in the Bongmine Bridge community. The distribution of the hand-washing buckets is the second phase of the organization community awareness program. That's on hygiene and sanitation. Speaking with Freedom News during the distribution exercise, the executive director of the organization, Kavin Jala, said the awareness program within Bongmine started with the collection of plastic waste and also the awareness on COVID-19 prevention within the community.
Well, we started with the awareness relative to plastic because as you may be aware, the different slum community will have the proliferation of plastic, and plastic are refined products, plastic are valuable products that can be processed and manufactured into valuable goods. But people don't have that insight. So on the basis of that, as an environmental group, we thought they want to see how they can create massive awareness in different people together, slum and other people in the community, for people to know how plastic is very precious and all of that. What comes out of plastic? You may recall the WHO scientists maintain that this COVID-19 pandemic will live with us for many more years to come. And as an environmental group, we want to embark on this consistent awareness relative to our people washing their hands regularly, adhering to the precautionary measures introduced by scientists and health practitioners from WHO and the Ministry of Health Republic of Liberia. We stay getting involved with them to at least take notice and keep the precautionary measure because they think will be around. So we have to live our life. So on the basis of that, we constantly get engaged with them to wash their hands regularly before eating and keep their mics on while interacting with other people to minimize the pandemic from escalating. Well, we are targeting the entire community. Previous statistics put the community.
For their part, beneficiaries of the distribution process lauded the organization for the awareness and providing the hand washing buckets, adding that the initiative will help them remain safe during this fight against COVID-19.
Oh, well, I feel so much elated at this time. The distribution of the bucket at least is helpful to we, the community, to us right now. because at least it will help us to keep safe really from the COVID-19 outbreak really in our community. Oh, really? From my own perspective, I would say yes, really, because I've been there for long. Well, I love to get special things and encourage them to do more, not only in Bowman Bridge, but around Liberia or others community in Liberia. Yeah, at least to help our citizens to avoid from crowded place. At least so that you're connected to keep washing their hands, at least so they keep safe.
Actually, it's very, good. Because when I see people around here, I just ask, but what is this? But then if that for the distribution of the bucket, it will be very, very fun. Because actually, we need this bucket to really carry on the COVID-19 process. Yes, because the COVID-19 is real.
At this juncture, we will rejoin Lawrence Kawa to read us to foreign development.
A Rwandan opposition leader has gone on hunger strike after being arrested by police, his lawyer says. Christopher Kayumba, the leader of the Rwandese Platform for Democracy (RPD), was arrested on Thursday on rape charges, the Rwanda Investigation Bureau said. Mr. Kayumba has previously called the allegations politically motivated, arguing that they surfaced a day after he launched his party in March. The media consultant and university lecturer was questioned on the charges in March and was summoned again last Thursday and arrested. His lawyer, Intirengaya Seth Jean Bosco, says Mr. Kayumba has taken a decision to go on hunger strike while in police custody so that his right to bail is respected. 2 days before his arrest, Rwanda's President Paul Kagame has called for the justice system to be tough, especially on rape and gender-based violence. Mr. Intirangaya told the BBC that a day before the arrest, Mr. Kayumba told him that people were sent to warn him to get off politics or otherwise he will be in trouble. This year, Mr. Kayumba has been criticizing government policies on education, restrictions over COVID, the economy, and the deployment of troops to Mozambique to fight militant Islamists. I am worried about his health, now that he is on hunger strike. That is a personal decision he took for his right to bail to be respected, Mr. Nitirangaya said. While launching his party in March, Mr. Kayumba said it will focus on uprooting Rwanda from poverty, building lasting democracy, and ending injustice.
Many thanks. And thanks to Lawrence Kawa for reading us the news from the foreign scene, and that will take us home on this presentation of Freedom News Basket. Just before we leave you, these are the top developments we've been following. Bombing County former Senator Sandra Johnson Riggs being arrested in connection with his divorce case at the Civil Law Court at the Temple of Justice. Opposition Alternative National Congress political leader Alexander Cummings maintains that his decision to walk out of a recent meeting of political leaders of the CPP was as a result of violation of a framework document guarding the collaboration. Police spokesman Moses Carter has been dragged to court by his wife for persistent non-support, but the police spokesman said he will remain silent on the matter because as he wished to protect the sanctity and dignity of his wife and family. Away from home, Rwanda opposition leader has gone on hunger strike after being arrested by police, his lawyer says. Many thanks to our contributors, correspondents, reporters, editorial team, and all who helped make this edition of Freedom News Basket a success. Lawrence Kawa reads the news bulletin and the foreign development. The invitation is yours to join us tomorrow morning at 6 for Freedom News Inside an Hour magazine news program. Thanks to Abraham Kamara, who sat at control, able to coordinate the sound system and control the live. Thanks for viewing. Thanks for following us online. You can keep following us on www.freedomradioliberia.com. Thomas Kojorola was here also with the Passion of Life Sports. On behalf of the team, my name is Jeff Jefferson. Good evening from Monrovia.